Welcome to Week 5 of Football Chaos. Before we jump into Week 5 picks, let's look back at how I did in Week 4. Week 4 was a rough week. I went 8-7, still a winning record, so I'm okay with that. The 7 games I did get wrong, however, were the Ravens. I picked to beat the Bills. Bills pulled that one out. The Steeler-Viking game, I had the Steelers winning. I expected Ponder to play. He didn't. Castle came in and looked great. Good for him. Then I had the Bengals beating the Browns. That was a big surprise to me. The Browns look surprisingly pretty good right now. The Bears versus the Lions game. I thought the Bears would dominate that game. The Lions proved me wrong. They scored a lot more points. And I think that's the Bears' weakness. They can't score a lot of points. The Raiders versus the Redskins. That was kind of a toss-up. I picked the Raiders. I also kind of thought Pryor would be able to come back and play. However, he couldn't. Flynn came in and they just weren't the same. Redskins get their first win of the season. Good for them. Cowboys-Chargers game. I thought the Cowboys would come out hot. They started hot. They had a rough second half and lost to the Chargers. Then the Falcon-Patriot game. Kind of went on a limb. Picked the Falcons even though they're beat up. I just don't have a lot of respect for that Patriots team yet. There's a lot of question marks, yet they still find ways to win. I think that comes down to Tom Brady. All right, my three wows for this week. First one goes to the rookie running back that had his season debut this week with Le'Veon Bell. He had 2 touchdowns. Good for him. He only had 57 yards, however, but it is his first week with a struggling running game from the Steelers. So good for Le'Veon Bell. Next one is Drew Brees. Drew Brees had a fantastic game. We've seen many of these games from him. He had 413 yards and 4 touchdowns. Wow, Drew Brees. And my biggest wow of the week goes to the Browns. Win second game in a row after they get rid of their quarterback and running back. And they beat the Bengals, who are predicted to win the AFC North. And they're supposed to be another playoff team. Go Browns. Wow. And that brings me right into Week 5. The first game of the week on Thursday is the Browns versus the Bills. It's a tough game. I think it's a toss-up. However, the Browns are playing at home, so I am going with the Browns with this one. Next, let's move into Sunday. We go to the Bengals versus the Patriots. Like I said earlier, I don't have a lot of respect for the Patriots with their injuries. They just signed Austin Collie. It shows they have a lot of questions with their offense, especially in the receiving core. A lot of injuries with Gronk and Danny Amendola. And I guess Stephon Ridley is even missing practice now, even though he hasn't been a huge factor in their offense as of late. But I do have the Bengals winning this one. I think the Bengals defense will be able to hopefully shut them down with all these question marks. Next is a big question game is the Packers versus the Lions. This is a toss-up. Yeah, the Lions have struggled to win in Wisconsin for a long time. I think it was 93 was their last time they've won a game in Wisconsin. But most games have been within 7 points. It's been a close game and a good battle. Keeps people on the edge of their seats. I am picking the Packers, however, to continue the streak against the Lions. Next, Seahawks versus the Colts. I think the Seahawks have a good way of making quarterbacks frustrated, especially younger quarterbacks. I think Andrew Luck will struggle with the Seahawks a little bit, and so I got the Seahawks winning this game. I'm still on the Dolphins bandwagon because the Dolphins are facing the Ravens this week, and I got the Dolphins. I think they're a good team. That defense has a lot of improvement, and, well, hopefully their running back can keep going. Miller's looked good, but I think he can be better. Next, we have the Saints versus the Bears. This is going to be another fun game. But I think just like the Lions beat the Bears, the Saints will do it too. They'll just outscore them. The Bears can't put up as many points. I just don't think they have the weapons. And Jay Cutler is so wishy-washy. There's going to come a point where he's going to struggle like he did last week. Next game, we have the Eagles versus the Giants. I said it before, I'm not going to pick the Giants until they win and prove that they can win. I have the Eagles winning this game. Step it up, Giants. Next, we have the Chiefs versus the Titans. This is going to be a good game. I think the Chiefs are a very impressive team from where they were last year. They've improved greatly. I have them winning this game, even though the Titans have improved this year as well. Rams versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars are another team I can't pick until they prove they can win. So I got the Rams winning this game. Next, we have Panthers versus the Cardinals. Panthers just came off a bye week. They're going to be well rested. I think they'll have no problem beating the Cardinals. All they have to do is stop Carson Palmer and Larry Fitzgerald. Next, we have the Broncos versus the Cowboys. We all know what Peyton can do, and we know Romo can do it sometimes. And the Cowboys are so wishy-washy. They're hot and cold. Look at last week's game. They were hot in the first half and got cold in the second. I think the Broncos are just more consistent, and they're going to win this game. Can't really beat Peyton Manning. Next, the 49ers and Texans. This is a tough game. I think both teams have potential to be really, really good if they show up. The Texans have struggled with that. The 49ers have had their bad days too. But I do have the 49ers winning this game. And the Sunday night game, the Chargers versus the Raiders, the West Coast matchup. I think the Chargers are the better team here. The Raiders just have been kind of wishy-washy, struggling, have a rough quarterback situation. I think Pryor should be back this week, but I'm not really sure yet. I got the Chargers winning. Philip Rivers has looked good majority of the time this week here, at least, and part of the game, and I think it'll be enough to win this one. Next, the Falcons versus the Jets. I have the Falcons winning this one. Yes, they're banged up, but I still think they're better than the Jets. I'm not impressed with the Jets yet, even though they have won a few games already this season. So those are my Week 5 picks. Hopefully they go better than last week's 8-7 record to bump up my total record to 39-24. It's still a winning record, but we'll see how next week goes. If you have any questions and concerns about fantasy or just straight football talk, leave it in the comment box and I'll answer next week. Till then, you guys enjoy your football and you have a good night.